thinks fire is dangerous? Well, so did early humans. They saw the flames burn the grasslands, devour the trees, and even hurt their friends. If they had stopped at these dangers, they never would have enjoyed its benefits, such as warmth, light, and even cooked food. But more importantly, we never would have enjoyed technological advancements such as the Iron Age, and more importantly, hamburgers. But this isn't what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. I'm going to talk to you guys about a technological advancement that might rival fire: quantum computing. Now, I'm going to explain quantum computing in a second, but there's something that you guys must understand. Quantum computers aren't just glorified computers. No, they're different. Quantum computers are computers that use quantum physics, so then they don't have to use bits. They use quantum bits, or qubits. These quantum bits don't have to pick between 0 and 1. They are on a spectrum between 0 and 1. This means instead of needing to stack another computer on top of your computer to be 2 times as powerful, you just need to add a couple qubits. This gives them exponential growth instead of linear growth. But this is important because computing power is what this world is run on. But just like any technology, and especially fire, it has dangers. Quantum computers will mostly harm cybersecurity. This is because instead of hacking your password like hackers today, they do something much different. Now, most of you guys know that this is a terrible password, right? And this random jumble of characters is a much better one. But sadly, quantum computers don't care. They don't care if you think your password is secure. No, they don't even care that you have a password. Instead of going through the labyrinth of passwords and authentications, they break straight through the labyrinth and go straight to your data. They do this by breaking the encryption of your account. This is important because there's no way to change your password or do anything once the encryption is broken. This lets them access your data without your password. But how can they do this? This is because quantum computers are very good at factoring numbers, which is the main principle that makes it so then your accounts are secure. But that isn't the only problem that we have to solve with quantum computing. Quantum computers are hard to use. Now, let's say I want to make a calculator app. How would I do that on a normal computer? I'd probably take my laptop, start typing some random numbers on Python, Java, C++, put in some if statements, some for statements, some while loops, and bam, I have my calculator. But with a quantum computer, instead I'd have to use nothing. Because all of the languages that are used to code for quantum computers are extremely hard to use, and there aren't easy to follow tutorials online. But that isn't the main problem. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have one of these machines at my house. This means that in order to test your new algorithm, you'd have to send it to a lab or to a country. And it would take a while for them to test it out, meaning in order to do revisions to your code, you'd have to do it over months. This makes it really hard to make algorithms, which without algorithms, all the computing power is kind of useless. But if it's so hard to use and there are so many downsides, why are we even using this thing? Why are we even putting so much money into researching it? It's because it can also do a lot of things. One of these things is medicine. It can find medicine. Now, how does it do this? It's because it looks at proteins and then simulates their uses. finding out what they can do more efficiently and faster than common day computers. But if it could only do this, sure, we would invest in it, but it wouldn't be the hot topic of today. No, it can also help us reduce our energy loss in our energy grids. It does this by simulating our energy grids and finding out their weak points and where we can save electricity. This means that we need to produce less electricity, reducing CO2 emissions, and we need to produce less, therefore making it so we have to spend less money. So it's a win-win, which is pretty hard to find in climate change. And then lastly, AI. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory because, as most of you guys know, AI really likes this thing called computing power. And what do quantum computers have? Exactly, which is why with the exponential growth of computing power, AIs will also exponentially grow. And as you guys might have heard of, or maybe even used, ChatGPT can do a lot of stuff really fast. But what should we do about this technology? Well, just like fire, it has dangers, and it has uses we haven't yet thought of. The cavemen didn't know we would get swords and hamburgers from fire. No, they only saw its basic uses, just like we see with quantum computing. Now, the problem that might have scared some of you with cybersecurity isn't completely true. There are ways to make quantum keys that restrain quantum computers and make it hard for them to access your data. These are already starting to be developed, but they're really hard to put in place and will take a lot of work. This is why, just like fire, which has a lot of potential, quantum computers have immense potential too. But in order to harness this potential, which can solve problems we never thought solvable, we need us, we need you, we need people, because this technology can only be harnessed with us, by humans. Thank you.